Coach Sully here. On this week's MatChat, we're going to be talking about the strengths that translate outside of the gym when it comes to training martial arts. If you're a person who is considering martial arts and thought, well, I'm not going to get into a fight anyway, so what benefit is martial arts for me if I'm not going to get into a fight? Then this episode of MatChat is for you. Now, with martial arts, there's so many benefits that you get outside of the gym. Yes, we learn how to throw punches. We learn how to throw kicks. We learn how to wrestle. We learn submission holds. But when it comes to benefits, when it comes to the strength that you develop from training martial arts, the actual fighting part barely scratches the surface. There are so many benefits, so many strengths that you get that apply to your everyday life. You can't even count them. Martial arts, yes, in my personal journey, martial arts has gotten me out of some scary situations physically, but more so than that, the lessons that I've learned from martial arts, the resilience that I've learned from martial arts, the mental toughness that I've gotten from martial arts has translated to strengths far beyond fighting, far beyond conflict, far beyond physical altercations. And it's so many that I can't even count it. So this week, we're going to be talking about 5 key ways that martial arts strengthens you and translates outside of the gym. So the first thing that we're going to start with is confidence. Confidence. Now, the confidence of being able to go about your everyday life, the confidence that you need to try something new, the confidence that you need to pursue the things that you want to see happen in your life. That confidence all stems from fear, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of things not going the way that you want them to go. And when you're able to remove the fear, or I wouldn't say remove the fear, I would say learn how to effectively deal with the fear, that opens up the road, that opens up the door for you to be able to do whatever you want to do in life. And with martial arts, you deal with fear at its root. At the root of all fear is the fear of your physical safety. That's where all fear starts from. And when your body and your brain is experiencing fear, that is the fear that it doesn't know the difference. So when you're afraid of rejection, so you don't try something, when you're afraid of failure, your brain doesn't know that. Your brain looks at it as you might as well be facing a saber-toothed tiger. You might as well be afraid that your life and your safety is at risk and is at danger. So fear is fear. And at the root of all fear is the fear of your physical safety, the fear of harm. And when you eliminate that fear, or when you learn how to deal with that fear, you're teaching yourself how to deal with all fear. Martial arts addresses that right at the root. When you can walk into a room or walk into a space and have the feeling that your safety isn't at risk, have the feeling that no matter what happens, you're going to be safe, not having to worry about physical harm. That translates to everything. I cannot count the times in my personal life where I might have been afraid of, I don't know, a new environment at work, a new task. And my mind quickly went to, well, wait a minute. No matter what happens, I am very likely to be safe. No matter how intimidating this person may seem, I am not in danger of this person actually doing me harm. And that confidence that you get, that confidence in your physical safety, translates all the way across the board to all other fears. So, martial arts, by addressing the root of all fears, it prepares you to deal with fear everywhere, every place in your life. The second way, the second benefit, the second strength that martial arts, that training builds up in you, is the strength to have boundaries without hostility. Now, boundaries are important. Boundaries set the tone on human relationship. Boundaries are the rules that you set for yourself on how you want to be dealt with, how you want to be treated. It's the guidelines on which all relationships are built on. And it's important to have those boundaries without them being fueled by hostility, without them being fueled by negativity. And with martial arts, it allows you to set those boundaries in a way that you don't build up hostility. A big part of boundaries, a big part of having boundaries is, first of all, establishing those boundaries early. Then secondly, being able to enforce those boundaries immediately. When hostility builds up, when we're talking about boundaries, is because either those boundaries were not communicated or you waited too long to enforce them. As human beings, we're going to inevitably cross certain lines with each other. And boundaries, when you're setting your boundaries or enforcing your boundaries, that doesn't mean that that's not going to happen, but it means that it will be addressed when it does happen. And the rules are laid out so that those lines are not crossed with the people that you deal with. But the big mistake that we make is we don't set those boundaries. We don't declare those boundaries. We don't communicate those boundaries. And then when those boundaries are crossed, we don't enforce the boundaries. We let it slide until it builds up into hostility. When you train, when you are trained, you are more confidently expressing what your boundaries are. You don't allow, again, like I said, at the root of all fear is the fear of physical harm. And when you're not afraid, when you do not, when that fear of physical harm isn't strong, now you're free to calmly, to respectfully state your boundaries when you're dealing with people. And you can calmly and respectfully enforce those boundaries by removing yourself from a situation or from a relationship. And martial arts gives you the confidence to say, this is not something that I agree with. This is not the way that I like to be treated. And when you're able to confidently tell people what your boundaries are, people are more likely to respect them. A lot of times when lines are crossed, when boundaries are crossed, it's because they weren't communicated. It's because the other person didn't know. And when you are moving around through life with minimal fear of harm, you can easily, in a relaxed way, say, hey, these are my boundaries, and these are the consequences if you cross the boundaries. So, martial arts allows you, gives you the strength, gives you the confidence to set your boundaries early and to enforce those boundaries immediately. The next benefit, the next strength that martial arts and training builds up in you is your physical strength, which turns into mental strength. So by building up yourself physically, you're also building up yourself mentally. A lot of times we have a difficult time developing mental strength. And the fastest way, the easiest way to build up mental strength is to build up physical strength. And addressing physical strength and getting stronger physically is the best way to get stronger mentally, because you can always do something. You can always improve on your physical strength. And sometimes it can be confusing trying to figure out how to develop mental strength. You can't just change your mind. You can't just feel something different when you're feeling something. But by taking control and building up yourself physically, you teach yourself how to build up yourself mentally. Physical strength, by default, becomes mental resilience. And by giving yourself proof that you are able to physically get stronger, you're also giving yourself proof that you can be mentally stronger. So, physical strength automatically becomes mental resilience. The next benefit, the next strength that training offers is it rewires your decision-making skills. It teaches you how to make decisions. When we're talking about decisions, we have to understand what is decision making. The big mistake that people make when talking about decisions is they think it's a choice. A choice is, hey, I'll take A or B, whichever one, it doesn't matter. But when you decide, that means you're cutting out all options. Decision making is less about making the right choice and more about making the choice right. So the people who are good at decision making, it doesn't mean that they know how to pick the right thing to do. It means that they know how to see the decisions that they made through to the end. And by training, when you're training, you're teaching yourself how to make decisions quickly, how to make the things that you decide to do work, how to not procrastinate on a decision, because these sort of skills are going to be vital when you're sparring, when you're training, when you're learning how to fight. You have to be able to make a decision and make it work. See, I'm going with this and and if this happens, I got to do this. I got to make it work. And that sort of quick decision making, that's that ability to try it again, try it from a different angle, that ability to see the decision that you made, see it through. That is what determines how successful you are in making decisions and making decisions work. Like I said, it's not about making the right decision. It's about making the decision that you made right. And lastly, the last benefit, the last strength that training develops is it teaches you how to be dependable. Now, at the root of dependability is a healthy body. Because dependability means that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And when you're the type of person that says they're going to do something and do it, not only do other people believe in you, but you also believe in yourself. And opportunities come to those who earn those opportunities by being dependable. People invest, people open doors for people that they can rely on. And the best way to make yourself reliable is to make the vehicle in which you operate in, which is your body, reliable. When you have a healthy body, when you're less likely to get sick and not be able to do something, when your body is capable and reliable, that allows you to be reliable, because the only thing that you can excuse, the only valid excuse you can have when it comes to reliability is I physically wasn't able to do it. So when you remove that or you minimize that, your lack of ability to physically do something, when you minimize that, you lessen the likelihood of you being unable to fulfill your promises. The key, the biggest thing that someone can have to contribute to their ability to be reliable is a reliable body. A long time ago, and I pat myself on the back. I am very reliable. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. But a big part in me being able to confidently say that is because I don't remember the last time I've been sick. I've never called out of work sick. And when you have a reliable body, a body that you know that when the alarm goes off in the morning, it's going to physically be capable of getting up and moving. A body that you know can handle physical work. A body that you know that won't shut down on you when you need it. That is going to be the best advantage. That's going to be the best attribute, the best thing that you have to contribute to your reliability, your dependability. So if you want to make sure that you are going to be where you say you're going to be and you're going to do the things that you say you're going to do, and if you want to take advantage of the benefits of somebody, the opportunities that come to those who do what they say that they're going to do, having a healthy, reliable body is going to do wonders for you in that regard. So, to recap, the strengths that martial arts gives you outside of the gym, like I said, you get to a certain age, you're not getting into street fights. We don't live in a war zone. So one might ask, why would I train and learn how to fight? Well, because most of the benefits, most of the strengths that you develop translate outside of the gym in so many ways. And the 5 ways that we went over today was it builds your confidence. It allows you to set and enforce boundaries without hostility. It builds up your mental resilience by building up your physical strength. It trains and rewires your decision making. And it allows you by providing you with a reliable body, it allows you to become very dependable and very reliable. All right, folks, I got to run. Coach Sully, Reps and Sweat, Frederick, Maryland. This was MatChat.